Well, hello, Friday morning charity. My name is Gary, and you may know me or may not, but if you're on Instagram or over on YouTube, you may know me better as Gary Knits, Gary Rides. I have for the past 5 or 6 years done a cycling ride from San Francisco to Los Angeles that I have used the knitting and the crochet community as part of my fundraising for. And I was so thrilled when Kelly and Amanda from Friday Morning Charity reached out to me earlier this year to see about doing a collaboration for your fall charity drive for Knit the Rainbow. And Knit the Rainbow is an organization that I've worked with over the past couple of years. I've done some drives with them, participated in some of their events. It is an organization that I love deeply. And so I was thrilled that they wanted to do a collaboration working for Knit the Rainbow. But rather than have me explain what Knit the Rainbow is all about, I thought I would go right to the horse's mouth. And we have Austin, who is the CEO of Knit the Rainbow, here to tell you all about his amazing organization, how they got started, and what they do. So, Austin, maybe just background a little bit how Knit the Rainbow got started and what the sort of mission of Knit the Rainbow is all about.
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing me on, Gary. I appreciate the opportunity to chat with all of you. Thanks for watching. My name is Austin Rivers. I am the founder and CEO of Knit the Rainbow Inc. So as Gary said, and basically I started Knit the Rainbow in 2020 in the middle of the pandemic, and I was kind of at home like we all were, knitting away as we all were doing. And I was thinking how I could use all of this knitting that I was creating to give back to my community. I'm clearly Black and I'm a member of the LGBTQ plus community. And I had known that there was a housing disparity being faced by LGBTQ plus youth in our country. So, if you look at some statistics, there are upwards of 500,000 homeless LGBTQ plus youth that live in the United States. And I live in New York City. And in New York City, there are upwards of at least 8,000 homeless LGBTQ plus youth that live in New York City. And so I was like, wow, that's a huge community that I could probably help out a little bit with my knitting skills. And so, I started knitting myself, and then I reached out to a couple of people, put out a call on social media, and said, "Hey, I'm starting this nonprofit called Knit the Rainbow. We are going to collect handmade knit and crochet winter garments. So anything like socks, beanies, gloves, cardigans, cowls, shawls, really anything that's winter wearable. We're going to collect handmade versions of all of that stuff, and then I will do my best to distribute to as many different partners in the New York City area to start." And that's kind of how Knit the Rainbow was born in 2020. So it's been 4 years now, and we've distributed over 25,000 garments thanks to the power of all of our amazing volunteers all over the world, honestly, that are sending us stuff. We've gotten garments from, I think it's something like 48 different states. So we're almost there to the total number of states, and I think 3 or 4 different countries. And so it's just been such a joy to have Knit the Rainbow and to run that. So we appreciate anything you can do to help.
That is amazing. So you started out just in New York, but over the last couple of years, you have started to expand your operations as well, right?
That's right. Yeah. So basically, each year we've kind of added a new location that we're expanding to. So we started in New York City. The second year we started also serving folks in New Jersey because since it's right next door. So New York, New Jersey to start, and we kind of handle that out of our main office here in New York City. And then year three we added Chicago as our third location that we're going to be serving, and that is because of the power of our local yarn store drop-off location partners. And so basically, just long story short, we have, I think, over 40 yarn stores around the country that serve as drop-off locations for Knit the Rainbow. So folks who are local to that community can go to that local yarn store, drop off their garment donations for us there, and then the local yarn store usually will ship us the donations to New York City as a collective for everyone from their community. However, we had 4 or 5 yarn shops in Chicago that asked to be yarn shop donor drop-off locations. So we said, why don't we actually just use those 4 yarn shops there, collect everything there, and then I will find a nonprofit in Chicago that they can drop off all of the donations to. So that's how the Chicago donations work out. And then we also, in our fourth year, just this past winter, expanded to also include Detroit due to one of our drop off location partners there. So we're now in New York City, New Jersey, Chicago, and Detroit, Michigan.
That's amazing. And you partner with local organizations who serve the LGBTQ plus youth community in terms of resources and things like that. And that's where the distribution actually happens. Although I know a
Yeah.
lot of it comes right through your apartment in terms of
Yes.
the collection piece of it. But you're working with local partners to get those things out to the kids that are living on the street or in housing uncertain kind of environments.
Yeah, that's right. So that we're very purposeful with the partnerships that we make. We have over, I believe now in the New York City area, almost 20 LGBTQ plus organizations and or housing shelters that we work with. And so we try to make sure that we're focusing primarily on shelters that either specifically only serve LGBTQ plus youth or that have a program that serves LGBTQ plus youth so that we can make sure that the garments that we're giving are actually in alignment with our mission and that we are really focused on serving LGBTQ plus youth that are experiencing homelessness. And when I say youth, I mean anywhere between the ages of like 12. There are folks that are as young as 12 that are getting kicked out of their homes because of who they are, all the way up to about 24. So we really kind of mean teenagers and young adults that are getting the garments that we're serving.
Well, that answers one of my questions, which was sort of on sizing for
Mm-hmm.
knitting and crocheting that the Friday morning charity folks are going to be doing. But what about actual items? Is there a hierarchy of needs in terms of like the things that you need the most of, or that are most useful for your partners out there?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, this is a kind of a known fact across a lot of housing shelters. They always need socks and underwear. That's kind of the number one thing that a lot of housing shelters ask for. Now, we all probably know that wearing handmade underwear is not the most comfortable thing, so we don't really collect handmade undies. However, we certainly collect handmade socks. So that is really the top of our list of what we need. As a knitter myself, I know that socks can be frustrating and hard to make and also take a lot of time. So we know that that's another reason why we don't get as many of them. But if you love making socks, if you have a favorite pattern that you use to make socks, either crocheted or knit, we'll definitely take socks because that's one of the number one items we need. We basically always need more of the smaller accessories like socks. So socks, gloves, and mittens, fingerless or kind of full fingered or just mittened. We'll take those. And then we also need ear warmers, which are, super easy and fast to make. So we can always get an ear warmer out to us. You can always get a fingerless glove or a mitten or a full fingered glove, or socks are always needed. Now, we'll also still take a bunch of the other stuff. We'll still take the beanies. We'll still take the scarves and the cowls and the shawls. We just get a lot of those. So if you like to make some of the smaller
Yeah.
accessories, if you want to focus on those, for sure, send those over. And then, of course, we'll always take sweaters and cardigans too. We don't get as many of those, obviously, because they take a lot longer to make and, they cost a lot more to produce. However, we actually this past year saw a big increase in the number of sweaters and cardigans that we were receiving.
Well,
So
that's
it's always
amazing.
such a surprise to me when we get a box full of sweaters that are
Yeah.
handmade. So yeah, sweaters and then the smaller accessories like socks, mittens, gloves, and ear
Well,
warmers.
that's great to know because I always am making hats for you guys, but I can definitely shift to ear warmers because it takes less yarn and I can do more of them. So
Right.
that's a great tip. In terms of the materials, is there
Mm.
anything in terms of superwash, non-superwash, acrylic? Is there anything that guidelines that you guys give to folks?
Not really. So we accept things that are made from any pattern, any color, and any fiber. And so the reason for that is a lot of the youth that we serve don't have access to regular washing facilities, so they're likely to hand wash a lot of their stuff anyways. So it's not a big concern on the fiber side. And then we also this question usually follows that question. We ask that folks do not attach labels when they're sending us stuff. I know a lot of times it's helpful for you to attach labels so we know that if someone has an allergy to wool or an allergy to something, that it has the fiber content on there. But Knit the Rainbow actually attaches our own labels to every garment that we get out. So we just ask that you don't send us things with labels because then we have to remove the labels anyways.
Okay. In terms of prepping stuff to send to you all, I know there's an inventory slip, and we're gonna in the write-up that I send to Friday Morning Show, I'm gonna have a link to that. But you would like an inventory list as people start to make things and put them together to ship to you guys, yes?
Yeah, that's really helpful. So basically, when the boxes come into Knit the Rainbow, we have a volunteer day where everyone comes and helps me to unbox the literally hundreds of boxes that we get, and then sort them and inventory them, and then rebox them in bigger boxes for the distribution days that we have. And so it's really helpful. We created these little half page inventory sheets that ask you to list like you put 10 beanies and you have two scarves and this many things, so that when we are unboxing, it's really easy for us to inventory because you've already counted those things up for us. So yeah, we'll include the inventory sheet for you so that you can use that when you send your boxes in to
Perfect.
us.
And as I mentioned, I'm going to be putting together a little write-up for Friday Morning Charity to post in the Facebook group. That'll have a link to the inventory list. It will also have the address. So Austin and I were talking earlier. Knit the Rainbow is in the process of moving. So I think for all of you, this drive is going to run from August 15th till the end of September. And the move is happening right around in that same time as well. So it would be ideal if you all could make up your items, and hold on to them until the very end. And then I will update the document and make sure that Amanda and Kelly have that information. And I'm in the Facebook group now as well. So I will post once the new shipping address is in, so you can send those, right at the beginning of October, which is when things usually get started to be collected anyway.
Yeah.
I would just mention I'm going to post this up on my YouTube channel, which is Gary Knits Gary Rides. If anyone is watching it via that and wants to participate in it, please do just keep track of the things that you're making, and go over to the Friday Morning Charity, either Instagram or Facebook group, and let them know how many things you're contributing. But definitely tune in to the YouTube channel, because I think I'm going to have some fun with this and have some little giveaways along the way for folks who are making things for Knit the Rainbow between August and the end of September. So stay tuned for that, and there'll be some little prizes to give away along the way. Is there anything else that the folks should know in terms of making or getting items to you for this year?
Good question. I don't think so. I mean, we talked a little bit about the age range, but for sizing, basically anything that would fit someone who's between the ages of 12 and 24. So, that's basically almost any size as long as it's not for a young child or a kid or a baby. So we don't accept young child sizes. We don't accept baby sizes, but anything that can fit a 12-year-old we'll take, and then up to a young adult, which is really any size. And we need all sizes that are within that range. So feel free to kind of make things of different sizes that fit within that age range. And again, no color restrictions, no fiber restrictions, no pattern restrictions. And I think that's about it for shipping tips and tricks.
Okay. And I should mention, I mean, I'm sure every knitter has their own favorite hat and mitt and glove pattern, but on the Knit the Rainbow website, there's also some free patterns that folks have donated and posted up there as well. So if you are, or you just want to try a new pattern,
Hmm.
head there to check those out. Austin, thank you so much for taking some time out of your very, very busy schedule to sit down and introduce Knit the Rainbow to the Friday Morning Charity people. I think it's going to be a really fun drive, and it is serving an incredible, need that unfortunately still exists out there in our
Yeah.
country. So thank you for everything that you're doing, and thank you to all of you who are participating in this drive for everything that you are going to do over the next months. If there are any questions about the drive, hit me up in the Facebook group now that I'm there, or head over to my Instagram, which is Gary Knits Gary Rides with underscores, and I'm happy to answer those DMs. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you all so much. Looking forward to seeing all you're going to make for us.
And now how do I, oh, there it goes.